just heard was the exhaust note of the new Hyundai Venue N Line. Now, this is an improvement over the standard Venue, but that's not the only thing that Hyundai has changed. So let's take a look at everything that's new with the new Venue N Line.
So driving the Hyundai Venue N Line. Now, like I said before, Hyundai has done quite a few mechanical changes to make this car more fun to drive. Now, firstly, they have tweaked the steering a little bit to make it more responsive and engaging to drive. Secondly, they've also added rear disc brakes for better braking. Third, they have also tweaked the exhaust note as you watched in our exhaust note video. And lastly, they have tweaked the suspension. So the ride is a lot more firmer now, and they have achieved this by adding 34% more damping force to the suspension. So does this make any difference? And the answer is a resounding yes. The steering wheel, it definitely has some weight to it now compared to the standard Venue, and it also feels quite lively, and when you're taking the corners and you can feel what's happening down on the road. And even when we talk about the high speeds, the car is quite stable when you compare it again to the standard model. And this is where Hyundai has also worked. They've worked on making the car more stable at higher speeds. Now, apart from this, even at lower speeds, the added weight is no issue for the car, and at parking speeds or any other speeds, the car is still very manageable and it's not that tiring. Now, talking about the brakes, the Venue N Line gets disc brakes at the back, which the standard model doesn't get. And again, like we said before, it has made a lot of difference, and the braking is confident and sure-footed. Though we don't have any numbers or real world where we can compare in both the cars and the stopping distances, but we do know for a fact that this car can stop very nicely without any fishtail, without causing any alarm. And other than the brakes, you also have your bunch of electronic aids to help you. So you have your electronic stability control, your ABS, EBD, and other stuff which also keeps the car in check when you're driving or even pushing the car hard. Now, talking about the suspension, the 34% that they've increased in the damping force, now that definitely feels right from the get-go. The car is much more firmer now, and it also feels quite stiff when you're going over bumps and on the highways as well. And if you sit at the back, you'll actually feel the road quite a lot even when you're on the highway at cruising speeds. Now, this may not be a good thing for the passengers, but this car is meant for drivers, and this makes the car a delight. So all in all, these changes to the suspension have definitely made a world of difference between the standard Venue and this Venue. Sure, your passengers may complain that the car is much stiffer, but it brings in a lot of smiles when you hit the corners with this car. Now, talking about the engine, the Venue N Line, it comes with the same 1-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol motor which you find in the standard Venue. It produces 118 PS of power and 172 Nm of torque. Now, the transmission option is only a 7-speed DCT. You don't get the option of an IMT or a manual gearbox. Now, this DCT is the 2nd gen DCT that Hyundai recently introduced with the facelifted Venue, and paired with the turbo petrol engine, it is quite good. Now, of course, there are some shortcomings. So let's say if you are picking up from standstill, there will be a bit of lag, but again, that is a characteristic that we've come to see even in other cars which come equipped with a DSG. But once you pick up pace, the shifts are quite quick, and what helps the matters is definitely these paddle shifters. Now, they feel really good to use, and they have a great feel as well. Even upshifts, they don't take a lot of time, and with the paddle shifters, of course, they're done in a jiffy. So in terms of the transmission, you won't have a lot to complain about. So all in all, you won't complain much about this gearbox. It's great to use. The shifts are quick, even the downshifts are great as well. And the only time you would actually complain would be those small instances wherein you need those lightning quick reactions and quick times from the car. And to help those matters, of course, you have your paddle shifters, and to reduce this phenomena, you have your selectable drive modes. Now, this can actually improve the gearbox and the transmission reaction. So with the drive selector, you can either choose between normal, eco, or sports. And these modes are not just for show, they actually make quite a difference to the car. So normal, it's great for your day-to-day driving, and it's all good. The car is really smooth, and even the power is really more than adequate for your day-to-day needs, and then some. The eco mode, of course, it's very dull down, and it's only for those who are relaxing and cruising on the highways. The more fun part is the sports mode, and the car immediately feels more lively, and even the gear shifts are really quick in this mode. In fact, you can slot it into sports and use the paddle shifters for the manual mode. And the sports mode is the mode that you would want to be every time, because this makes the car so much more fun to drive. It's almost as if they're two different cars in these two different modes when you compare the eco and the sports mode. The gear shifts, again, like I said before, there was nothing to complain about when it came to the shift speeds, but in sport mode it becomes even more better, and the engine is ready to rev up till the red line. So let's say if I shift it into manual mode, the car won't upshift until 6200 or 6300 rpm. So this mode really gives you a nice leeway wherein you have a lot of control of the gearbox and the engine. Of course, like I said, it's very lively, and in fact the car is ready to jump all the time. So this is not the mode that you would like to use in the traffic because of the added sharpness from the throttle. Now the overall performance from the engine, like I said before, it's great, and the only time that you would again complain would be that initial lag that you obviously get, but that's because of the DSG transmission. This engine has a good mid-range and you won't have any complaints, and this car can pull up to triple digit speeds with great ease. And apart from that, let's say if you want to go on a more relaxed cruise, you just slot it into drive, put it in eco mode, and the car would upshift to the 7th gear as soon as possible, and you can extract some decent mileage out of it as well. And in fact, we've extracted a nice 14 kilometers per liter, even though we have been quite enthusiastic for some time now. So all in all, this engine and transmission combo can provide you the best of both worlds, whether it's performance or your efficiency. Now that we're done driving, let's take a look at the exteriors of the Hyundai Venue N Line. Now of course, being an N Line car, Hyundai has done a lot to differentiate it from the standard Venue. Now in terms of color options, the Venue N Line gets some unique choices. So firstly, you have your shadow grey and your thunder blue, which are not found in the standard car. You also have the option of polar white, and you can get these colors with a dual tone roof as well. Now coming to the front, the Venue was recently given a facelift, so you can see that the dark chrome parametric grille dominates the face, and in terms of the N Line bits, you get an N Line badge on the grille, and moving lower down you get a red accent and a different type of silver skid plate. Now move to the side, again you will see some red and black elements. So on the wheel arches you will see some red accents, and even the black roof rails, they also have some red accents. The 16-inch alloy wheels that you see over here, they are all new and they get your N-line badging. The front brake calipers, they are colored in red as well. Now the most important change that you will see on the side is the addition of rear disc brakes. The rear disc brakes are not available in the standard Venue, hence this is a new addition to the Venue N Line. Now again, if you move to the back, the changes are similar to what we saw on the sides and the front. Move lower down and you will again see your new silver skid plates with your red accents, and on the top you will see a new black spoiler. Of course, like the new Venue that we saw, it comes with your LED tail lamps with a connecting strip. And lastly, you have your dual tip exhaust pipes, which we just heard in the beginning of this video. Now let's take a look at what's new on the inside.
Now first things first, as soon as you open the door, you'll notice that it comes with an entire black theme, which of course doesn't come in the Venue since it comes with a white and grey dual tone. You have your contrasting red stitching over here, and even the door handles, they are finished in a dark metal finish over here. Even the electrically adjustable leatherette seats, they are new as well. So they are quite different when it comes to the bolstering and cushioning, and they're quite firm and they hold you in place. And as you might have noticed, it comes with your N badging and your red checkered pattern that you see over here, and other patterns as well. So it's a nice and firm seat, and of course it's finished in leatherette, so it's of good quality. And lastly, of course, you have your electrical adjustments, so it's more convenient for the driver. Another major change to the interior is the new N Line steering wheel. Now this is borrowed from other Hyundai N cars as well as the i20 N Line, and this is a nice 3-spoke unit to hold. Of course, you have all your buttons for your infotainment and other functions, and you have your nice funky paddle shifters. Now these are much larger than the one that you see on the standard Venue. You also have your nice nifty little N badge over here to remind you what you are driving. Other than this, it's a nice steering wheel to hold, and it also has your red contrasting stitching that we saw on the seats. Even the pedals, they are now done in metal instead of the standard ones. Another change that we see over here in the interior is the use of the N Line gear knob for the automatic transmission, again borrowed from other N Line cars. Now with that done, the only other change that you see over here is the contrasting red elements. So The AC vents, they get this nice little red element for the adjuster, and even the knobs for controlling the climate control, yes, they are again done in red. Overall, this is a nice place to be in, and again the red theme and the black contrasting elements, they do make the car feel much sports. They make the car feel much sportier, and especially the steering wheel, a really nice thing to hold on to, and even the gear knob, again like Hyundai always, they're done in a really good quality. Hyundai has also changed the blue ambient lighting of the standard Venue to a shade of red for the N line. So as you can see over here, not that visible, but it is done in red, which also again makes it look sportier. Now, other than these aesthetic changes, it remains the same as your top end Venue Turbo that you see. So of course you have your 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which comes with BlueLink, over the air updates and Alexa connectivity. You have your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is, by the way, wired and not wireless. Of course, coming down you have your automatic climate control, and below that you have your USB-C type charger and even an A-type and a wireless phone charger. Of course, you have your sporty N line gear knob over here, and the drive mode selector, again it gets a nice contrasting red finish. The drive mode selector, it changes the color of the correspondent drive mode there that you're in for the instrument cluster. So of course the sports mode gets the red color, eco mode gets green, and normal mode is done in blue. Overall, like I said before, it's a nice place to be in. The sportiness of the N line, it has been fused with the comfort and the features of the standard Venue, so you get the best of both worlds. In terms of safety, the Venue N line comes packed with more than 30 safety features. So you have your traction control, your vehicle stability management, your hill start assist, your 6 airbags which comes in the top end variant, your ABS, EBD, ISOFIX child mounts, and a whole lot more. Now, a major feature addition to the Venue N line over the standard Venue is the addition of an inbuilt dash cam. Yes, that's right. This is actually probably a first for the Indian auto industry that we are seeing, that a dash cam comes fitted right from the factory. Now this gets a screen over here, and it comes with dual cameras. So one camera, it records what's going on in front of the car, and the other one will actually record the driver and the passengers inside. This is a very commendable move by Hyundai, considering the fact that road accidents happen so much around, and if you can't be bothered to buy a dash cam, you have it right here inbuilt in your car from the factory. Now let's take a look if there are any changes in the back. Now again, the rear door is done in the same way as the front one, so you have your nice fabric insert with your red stitching over here. Now the back seat is exactly the same as your standard Venue, so the space, it's quite good for somebody of my build. The under thigh support, it's quite good, fine. Legroom is also great. I have nice space to scoop my feet inside the headroom. It's good, but maybe taller people might not like it. In terms of course, convenience features, you have your rear AC vent, your USB-C type charging port, which are 2 in numbers, and you have your center armrest with cup holders, which is nice. Now the only change that you see at the back over here is, again, the seats are done the same as the front one. So you have your nice leatherette material and the same red checkered pattern that you see, and even the headrest, they get a contrasting red stitching. Even the boot space, it's the same as your standard Venue, and you get roughly around, let's say, 350 liters of space, which is good enough for your short journeys.
Now, in terms of pricing, the Venue N line comes in N6 variant and an N8 variant. Now, the N6 variant will cost you around rupees 12.16 lakh, and it is around rupees 1.19 lakh more than the S optional variant of the standard Venue. The N8 variant, that will cost you rupees 13.15 lakh, and it will be rupees 58,000 more expensive than the top end Venue SX optional. Now, in terms of the differences, you will not see a lot of features. So in terms of your basics, you get everything in the N6 variant. The features that you will miss out on, some of them are your 6 airbags, your auto dimming IRVM, your BlueLink connectivity, and your dash cam. Now, other than that, if you ask us, then definitely you should go for the top end N8 variant, since it also comes with that useful dash cam which no other car gets. Now, in terms of competition, the Venue N line doesn't have any direct competition in terms of the compact SUVs, since there is no other compact SUV that actually focuses completely on the enthusiast. The only other car is its cheaper sibling, that is the i20 N line. Now, other than that, is the Venue N line worth the extra money over the standard Venue? Well, we definitely have to say that it is worth it. Now, for that rupees 58,000 on the top end variant, you get a lot of additional stuff like your retuned suspension, your rear disc brakes, your dash cam, that nicer sounding exhaust note, and even all the sporty bits and the unique exterior color options that you get in the car. For that price, all of these additions are really worth it. And if you want something that is really fun to drive and comes in the compact SUV form, then you should definitely give a long hard look at the Hyundai Venue N Line. But let us know what you think of the Venue N Line and if you would take any other alternatives. Till then, this is Faisal signing off. Rev hard and rev free.